word for ugliness. So he decided to do a choreography of ugliness about humanity called The Afternoon of the Faun, La Prima di d'un Faun. When I saw his positions, his body positions, they were so much like boxing positions, I began to study monumental sculpture. I took courses in it. I modeled as a living model in the universities and colleges and surrounding areas as work. And then I began to go back to the studio and to choreograph and assimilate all this together. When I went to the library and I picked up books on boxing, there was always a reference to boxers as being statuesque, like classical works of art. In fact, that is the name of boxing. Classical boxing is to have an ancient Greek statuesque attitude and pose and technique. These epic periods of evolution allowed me to make a choreography based on boxing that I could begin to animate with rhythm and choreograph boxing footwork. I came up with a field of rhythm, frequencies and rhythms in which I could dance round by round, second by second, with consciousness with both my hands and my feet, which would allow me to box with great forms of velocity, from very soft to very hard. And I could articulate well enough to master my opponents and beat them without necessarily having to be brutal and violent.
And the puzzle to this mystery was, historians today still don't know why boxing was sometimes accompanied to music. So I tried to reconstruct a Hellenic program, a Greek program.
This depiction here has to do with the laws of time, or the metronome, which dictates 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds of time. And these are all cues. I didn't invent this stuff. I can't take credit for it. I put it together though. And for me, this is the ancient mystery of boxing that goes way back to an old ancient philosopher named Pythagoras. This is Pythagorean counting, numbers. 1 is different than 2, is different than 3, is different than 4.
That's 1, then 2, then 3, then 4 has the volume of 10. 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 4. When she gets to 60, she's at 1,830 repetitions of an exercise. In this way, I will become a calibrated fighter, as I did 1 push-up and 2 push-ups and 3 push-ups, or hit the bag 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. I will get calibrated to 240 calibers, so that when I hit a man, I'm supposed to hurt him.
This is the way that I chose to train myself and to perform and to calibrate myself physically with all of my exercises and all of my skills to become formidable in 10 months and challenge the Sphinx International Championship. And as I did it, something began to take place in my consciousness. Because for me, this was an initiation, a spiritual initiation with time. And I began to calibrate myself and see myself as a boxer who was licensed. I felt that I had a responsibility with my hands and my head to use my skills in a way that wasn't detrimental.
boxing license is a gun license. That's why I cannot box outside the ring. It's assault with a deadly weapon with intent to commit murder.
It's legalized assault.
Just be presque criminal. So, except I've got a license to box.
When my fight doctor first told me amateur license, my amateur license was that. You know what that is, son? Boxing license. Do you know what that is? Boxing license, permit to box. No, it's a gun license. FBI, ATF, you're on the record now. Don't hit anybody outside the ring. Then I would get a letter from the AAU inviting me to an event with a ticket. You're going to Las Vegas, Sahara Hotel. You're going to box the Soviet Union. You're 12 members of the heavyweight Soviet boxing team were assembled to box with 12 heavyweights from America. And I weighed 167 pounds.
I fought Anatoly Kilimanov, two-time Olympian with over 260 fights in my 17th appearance. And again, another controversial fight in which I was awarded the loss. However, because of the context in which I fought, it was very controversial because I embarrassed, again, another formidable world champion because I used ballet as well as boxing to render my adversary harmless, useless to themselves. I believe if you ever look at the films that ABC has in their archives,
you're gonna see the most amazing ballet boxing choreography in which a man was so frustrated he ran by me and he stops, he scratches his head and shakes. He's totally confused.
He lost confidence in his fist right on stage. That fight was great because I actually hugged the guy when the fight was over and put him on my shoulder and walked around the arena spontaneously. And this is what the ancient Greeks used to do when they would celebrate someone in consciousness.
For me, this is what art is about. It's about celebrating life and not destroying it. So for me, it was a conscious choice. And because I could be aware of each second, each fraction of a second, I knew when not to hurt this guy.
What do you do when you're the best in the world and you get denied? That's what happened to me.
After the bout was over, the head of the Soviet Union came to me. And he says, "You are the university student." I said, "Yes, I am." He says, "Tell me, what does the Olympic program of the university do with your work?" I was a little bit embarrassed because I was dismissed from the University of California, Irvine. And when I told them, he says, "This is very sad. It's a pity," is what he said. "Your work is very significant." This was an amazing and a bold thing for a person to say to me at the time. You gotta understand what it was like in the 70s for a black person. Since slavery, white people usually don't say good things about black people. So when they do say something good, we figure they know what they're talking about. Because they said it, they wouldn't say it any otherwise. And it blew my mind. This high-ranking official would tell me that my work is significant. At that point, I was ready to seek asylum in Russia just so I could be a part of their team and implement ballet boxing there. In the land of Nijinsky. I wanted to go there, Stalingrad, to see the Imperial Palace and the theater. But I said, no, I can't do that. If I do that, my family will be labeled as Reds, communist lovers. I can't do that to my family. I can't do that to my family.
One of my favorite heavyweights is Joe Louis. And his incredible defeat over Max Schmeling when he threw 254 punches in 2 minutes. I said, wow. I tried to copy that. So I got a metronome. And be like in the train. And at that pace, 127 punches per minute will give you 254 punches in 2 minutes. That's over 2 punches per second. It's relaxed. It's a moderate pace. But when you applied yourself that in boxing, you're always in someone's face, and I overwhelmed my opponent. In some ways, my education hurt me in boxing, because when I talked with my coaches, many times they didn't understand why I would use that, or they didn't want to know. No one wanted to know on the Olympic team. It was foreign. It wasn't customary. So you turn that off immediately.
My amateur career came to an abrupt end when I was told by the vice president of the Olympic team to stop doing my program, because it was my program and not their program. I had broken the program of sports. I was no longer performing violence, what they wanted. I was a guinea pig. I was a ballet boxing guinea pig in an experiment that went wrong. If I could be corrupted into hurting someone while using the ballet, we've got a product here. But if I chose to dignify myself and show goodwill through boxing and art and aesthetics through boxing, then I had to go.
And I was given an ultimatum: drop the ballet and do just the boxing, or you can't do it here on the Olympic team. And I chose to leave. When I was highly touted as an upcoming champion, the best light heavyweight to come along since Cassius Clay.
When I saw my bout with Leon Spinks, edited and cropped, and only 1/6 of the fight was even shown on TV. When I saw the fight with Anatoly Kilimanov, and that was censored again. Censored. I'd been censored by the American media so that they wouldn't know the truth of who I was, what was really done. When you see a sportscast says, this is a day in sports and this is what happened. And I was there and I didn't even recognize the event myself because it had been doctored. Wow. That had a great impact on me about what I thought of America. I said, I am being suppressed. And the impact was enormous and it hurt. I left. Talked to the British British ABA is the Amateur Boxing Association in Great Britain. I spoke with Mr. Harry Hatton, H-A-D-D-E, and Harry Hatton. When I boxed there once, he gave me his card. He says, "Milford, you're welcome to be here anytime." So I called him up when I left the Olympic team after being given the ultimatum to quit doing the ballet and just do boxing or leave the team. I chose to leave. And I took Mr. Hatton's offer up and I contacted him and said I wanted to come to Great Britain, and he says, "That's fine, we'd love to have you. After seeing your fine performance there, the British public loved me.